Good morning, Class 4S at Ashfield Junior School. My name is Alistair Humphreys. I am an adventurer, and I'm also the author of The Boy Bite the World books and Great Adventurers. And thank you for reading my books. I love the fact that you've been reading them and coming up with ideas and planning your own adventures, and that is brilliant. And you've also sent me some fantastic questions. You've sent me a lot of questions, which is good, but it also means I'm going to get on with them, because when I stop recording this, I need to get back to my day job, I guess, of writing, and I've nearly finished writing The Girl Who Rode the Ocean. I've got my final list of jobs I need to do, issues to fix, until hopefully that book is nearly done. Right, let me have your questions here. Quick sip of coffee. Then I'll be ready for anything. How many times did you get a flat tyre? Oh, I got lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of flat tyres cycling around the world. That's just one of the hard things that happened. My worst day, though, up in the Andes, I think it was in Bolivia or Peru, I got 15 punctures in one day, which was a really, really bad day at the office. What made you want to be an adventurer? What made me want to be an adventurer was reading books. All these stories of crazy men and women going off and seeing the world and having incredible experiences and learning and growing and testing themselves and finding out about the world. I loved reading books like this, and that was what made me want to do adventures of my own. Zane says, why did you want to cycle around the world? Well, I've just explained why I wanted adventures. The reason I chose cycling was because walking felt too slow. Going by car felt too fast. You don't really see anything, and it's really expensive. Going by train or bus or plane, you can't choose the places you want to go. You just have to go where the bus takes you. And so that leaves the bicycle, which isn't too expensive. It's not too slow. It's not too fast. It's just right. The bike is the Goldilocks of adventure. It's just right. How many times did your bike break? Well, I actually got through 3 complete bikes on the adventure. Ooh, sorry, just doing a little burp. Sorry about that. My bike broke lots and lots of times, but the actual frame of my bike snapped once in the desert in Sudan, and overall I got through 3 bikes. Grace says, how did you feel cycling downhill from the highest road in Africa? Oh, that was a great feeling. I mean, cycling downhill is always good, but when you know you're at the highest point in a continent, so it's downhill from here, is brilliant. And also, from Lesotho in South Africa are so beautiful. The Drakensberg Mountains, where they are so beautiful. So it was just an amazing bit of cycling. Did you meet any new friends on your bike ride? Yes, and actually making friends on the trip was, I think, the best thing about the whole adventure. It was something I hadn't really thought about before the trip. I thought I was interested in the wild places and the wildlife, but actually I made so many friends in different countries, and that was brilliant. Lily B, did you see an elephant? Yeah, I saw quite a lot of elephants, which is, of course, amazing. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Emma, did you have fun? Well, I was cycling for 4 years, so if I say to you, in 4 years, Emma, have you had fun? You will probably say to me, yes, I've had fun, and I've also had times when I'm not having fun, and I've been happy and sad and bored and sick and tired. So you get all the feelings on a big adventure, but yeah, I definitely did have fun. Millie asks, did you speak in a different language? And someone else asks, was it hard learning new languages? There are so many different languages along the places that I went, and everywhere I went I'd try and learn as much as I could to help me get by, but also to be polite to the people in the country I was travelling through. So it is hard to learn a language, but it's so rewarding, and it's such a useful thing to do. So I'd really encourage you, if you ever go to another country, try and learn some words of the language. People love it when you speak in their language, and it's not that hard to learn a little bit to help your days be easier. Emily says, how old were you when I wanted to become an adventurer? It was only really when I got to university, so probably from about 21, 22, 23, I was really starting to think I'd like to have adventures. And then when I was 24, I actually set off on my bike ride. Sienna asks me how long it took to cycle around the world. It took 4 years and 3 months. Were you shocked when you went to different places? I don't know if I was shocked, but I was surprised. And that's the great thing about travel, is that you go to different places and suddenly everything becomes different and interesting. Just think about boring stuff from our life, like the bed you sleep in, or the way you sit at a table and eat meals, or how you get to school, or what you wear at school, or what a supermarket looks like, or what's on TV. Normal things. You go to some far off country and suddenly all of those things are different and really fascinating and surprising again. Ava asks, did I want to give up at some places? Yeah, I often wanted to give up on adventures. And I think that's true if you try and do anything that's difficult. If you're trying to do something and you never want to give up, then maybe it's a bit easy and you want to try and push yourself a bit hard. So I think having some struggle, some difficult times and adventures is a really important part of it. And I wanted to give up because I'd get lonely or homesick, or sometimes I'd be afraid. Sometimes I just get a bit bored of the fact that, oh no, today I've got to ride my bike another 60, 70 miles and find somewhere to sleep. So yeah, I often wanted to give up, but the good things outweighed the bad ones. How many countries did you go to, and what was your favourite country? Cycling around the world, I went to 60 countries. Overall, I've been to about 90 or something, I think now, which is less than half the countries in the world. There's so much adventuring still to do. Favourite country is an impossible question, and I give a different answer every time. And my answer today, because I'm holding this very dirty coffee cup from Japan, is I'm going to choose Japan. I loved Japan. It's such an unusual, interesting, different, welcoming, safe place. So yeah, today's answer is Japan. Worst place you've been to? I don't really have a worst place. Yeah, I don't have a worst place. Everywhere's interesting to visit. Did you see any important artefacts? Yeah, I got to see loads of cool old places. The pyramids in Egypt, Lalibelas, rock churches in Ethiopia, Machu Picchu, the Inca ruins in Peru, the Great Wall of China, some ancient temples in Japan. Yeah, it was amazing to see these world-famous places. What foods did you try, and would you like to try them again? Well, go to Japan, you'll eat all sorts of strange and interesting and different foods. Mice on a stick in Malawi, dog, snake, guinea pig. These things might sound a bit weird, but I suspect if you could see the sort of bits of animal that went into some of the burgers that you might eat here in Britain, then you might think that was pretty weird. So the thing about food is it's just what's normal to different people. Would you do it again? No. I'm very glad that I cycled around the world once. It was an really incredible 4 years of my life, but 4 years is a long time, and there are other things to do in life, so I think once was enough for that. What did you learn that you didn't know already? Says Lucy. I learnt that the world is a good, kind, friendly, welcoming place, and that often the countries you see on TV that are having wars and all sorts of problems are just full of good, kind, normal people like we are. I'm recording this now while Russia is invading Ukraine, and Russia is doing horrible things to Ukraine. But it's not all of the normal people in Russia. It's a few crazy idiots running governments. And this is the problem with loads of countries. The same with Syria. They're having a terrible war now. But when I cycle through Syria, the people are so kind and friendly and welcoming. And the same in Russia. Some of the friendliest people I met. So yeah, I think that's what I learned. That the world is a kind place, despite what you see on TV. What was your favourite animal that you saw? Oh, probably a whale when sailing across the Atlantic Ocean. I mean, whales are just astonishing. They're enormous. And because you don't get any warning, suddenly, boom, for whale. Woohoo! It's magical. Dexter, what's your favourite adventure? That's a hard question to answer. But I might choose when I walked through Spain playing my violin very badly, because that was trying to be brave in different ways, trying to do things that I wasn't very good at, I wasn't very comfortable at, and trying to dare myself to do things that are a bit different and difficult. Maybe when you've watched this video, if you look on YouTube for My Midsummer Morning, you'll be able to watch some of my very bad violin playing in Spain. How hot was it in the desert? 45 degrees, which is very hot, which leads to George's question about how many times do you refill your water bottle. Well, I would carry about 17 litres in the desert, which is a heck of a lot. It's very, very heavy to carry that much water. How did you go to the toilet? Classic question. If you can find a McDonald's, they've always got quite good toilets. 2, if you can find a really posh, expensive 5-star hotel, park your bike outside and walk in really quickly as though you're really important and hope no one tells you off and go to the toilet there. And if not that, then you just have to find a bush, go behind it and enjoy the view. A loo with a view. That's the good thing about being on adventures. What inspired you to row the Atlantic? Well, I'm always up for any sort of adventure, just like doing different sorts of things, really, in different landscapes. But I never thought I'd row the Atlantic because it's so hard to organise, and I'm rubbish at organising things. And then one day someone emailed me saying, we're going to row the Atlantic, and one of our teammates has had to drop out. Would you like to come along? And when you get an invitation like that, even if it's scary, you've just got to say, yes, please. Well, I've answered Jackson's question about was it fun? Yeah, parts of it were excellent. And John says, why do you love banana sandwiches? Well, don't you, John? They're delicious. Well, they're quite nice, but mostly I like them on travel because they are cheap, they are healthy, they are easy to make, they're quick, and also because the banana's got its skin on it, it means it's completely clean. So in parts of the world where maybe you can get ill from eating dirty food or dirty water, a banana is clean and safe. And healthy, and they're really good for you and really cheap. How many days it take to bike the world? Well, you can work that out. Let's call it 4 years times by 365. There you are, plus 1 day for a leap year. There's your maths homework for today. Jaden, was it scary? Jaden, it wasn't that scary. No, it was mostly exciting and fun. I had a few scary moments, but really not very many. Most of the time I felt very welcome, and I'm a bit of a wimp. I don't really like scary things. So no, it wasn't really very scary. Kira says, what did your friends say when you got back from home? They said, oh, have you had a nice bike ride? Or, oh, where have you been? Or, oh, I haven't seen you for a while. I think my friends were surprised, to be honest, when I told them I was going to do this and I set off, but I don't think they really thought that I'd stick at it and keep going and then suddenly reappear in the pub 4 years later. So I think they were surprised, really. But it's quite interesting. You go off and do something big and you come home and everyone says, wow, you cycle around the world, tell us all about it. So you start telling people about it, and after about 10 minutes they say, yeah, that's enough of that. Now let's talk about something else. And then life just carries on as normal. So it was surprising how normal it felt to get back after a big thing. Did you celebrate when you got home? I had a couple of parties with some friends, but not really. It was, I think, because getting to the end was really slow, and I had months thinking, oh, I'm quite near the end. I'm quite near the end. So it was a really gradual thing. So at the end, it was more a feeling of relief and tiredness and wanting to rest rather than to celebrate. Did you fall off your bike? Yeah, I fell off a few times. Not that often. I fell off a lot in Russia when I was cycling on ice. Angie, born in South Africa. What does it feel like to cycle all the way to South Africa? Well, it's amazing. I don't know, Angie, if you've been back to South Africa recently, but if you go on an aeroplane, it takes like a whole night to get there. You're flying at 600 miles an hour for a whole night. You're going a huge distance around the world. And then to get there little by little by little on a bicycle, well, it feels much more special than going by aeroplane, that's for sure. And it just felt amazing to be able to look at a globe. And to think, I set off in England and I've made it all the way to the bottom of Africa just by pedalling and eating banana sandwiches. It's amazing, really. And it shows what you can do if you just get started and you don't give up. Lily H. Now, Lily H, I've been answering these sort of questions for years and years and years and years and years. And everyone asks me the same questions all the time. But no one has ever asked me, did I come across a Goliath frog? And Lily, I have to confess, I've never heard of the Goliath frog. But I promise you, after this video, I'm going to start Googling it and I'm going to find out. Thank you for a question I've never had before. Lily F. Did you meet anyone else like you on the bike ride? Yeah, occasionally I'd meet other people on big bike adventures, and it was always so exciting to see far from the distance. You think, oh, it's a bike coming towards me with bags. And I'd get excited, but often it turned out to be just a donkey with some water barrels on it. But every so often, every few months, every 6 months, it would be someone like me, someone else on a big cycling adventure, and we'd meet, and we'd stop, and we'd chat, and it was wonderful. I liked it, the times when we could just both stop for the day and put up our tent and chat, and it was so nice to be able to share exactly how you were feeling with someone who exactly understood. Yeah, I loved it meeting. I loved meeting another cyclist on the road. Did you like how people dressed in different countries? Yeah, it's great. And one thing that makes me a bit sad now is that most places in the world, people dress a bit like me. They wear trousers and a t-shirt and jumper, and then in quite poor countries, well, really poor countries where people might have worn really cool traditional gear, now they often just wear some of the clothes that we've handed on down. So even in poor parts of the world where I might have expected to see people in their traditional clothes, they're just wearing similar stuff to me, and that's a bit disappointing. So I love it in places where people do wear their traditional clothes and it looks really spectacular. I love in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, people in their saris or their shalwar kameez, people wearing turbans. I love anyone who's wearing different sorts of clothes. But actually also, I love that here in Britain, when you walk down the street and you see someone who's wearing not normal clothes at all, bright colours, whatever, completely black. Anyone is just wearing different stuff that they love. I think that's brilliant. Did you use only one bike? No, I got through 3 bikes. Yeah, I got through 3 bikes. And that was the final question. Thank you very much, Ashfield Junior School in Workington. You guys have asked me a lot of fantastic questions, and I hope it will give you ideas for lots and lots of adventures of your own. Thanks so much for reading my book. And now I'm going to get on. Well, I'm going to finish my cup of coffee. Maybe have one more cup of coffee, and then I'm definitely going to get on with writing The Girl Who Rode the Ocean. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.